On the passive tree, we've added quite a few new keystones to the Sorceress section. Here are a couple of examples. The Black Flame Covenant keystone converts your fire spells to chaos and causes your ignites to deal chaos damage. Your fire spells and ignites will also turn purple. The Ritual Cadence.
Okay, hey guys, Jay here. That is just a little bit of sneak peek on that GGG actually gave us. Nothing exclusive here, but I am really interested in the thing that I just showed you in the video, and this is going to be another build idea. I don't think I'm going to play this or starting this build. I have decided that I would start a Tactician Swarm Ravenous Swarm, so it is also a new skill. If you want to check out this idea, by the way, check out the link in the description below. I will have a bunch of links for my videos before this patch. And yeah, this one is going to be another build idea that is going to be, I think, quite interesting. So the previous video, I talk about a build that resemble like a character in Naruto. This one is kind of the same as well. Another Naruto reference here. So I am going to be playing around with, of course, a fire skill. This is Incinerate. It has been reworked. There's a lot of details, but you know, TLDR on all the text on the screen here. The skill right now seems to be buffed a little bit in terms of damage. It seems to have more range, more AoE on the ignited ground. So basically, this is already a viable skill in the previous league. We know that, at least I know that Matho, which is a very insanely good and handsome, unlike me, content creator, who have been playing with this Incinerate Pathfinder. It is very cool. It looks really cool, and it is actually pretty damn strong as well. Now it got buffed a little bit. And then we also got new toys. And this new toys, of course, is the Black Flame Covenant. So Fire Spell is going to convert 100% of fire damage to chaos. So we are going to deal chaos damage. Also, chaos damage from Fire Spell contribute to ignite chance and magnitude. So yeah, we don't need to worry about ignite. And I am going to do some like ignite shenanigan with this one as well. Ignite inflicted with fire spell also deals chaos damage instead of fire. So basically everything that is fire from a spell, it turns into chaos. So why do we want to turn it into chaos? Number one, the biggest, the most important reason, it looks cooler. That's it. That is the most important reason. I don't need anything else to even try and want to play this build, but there are a couple of actual extra reasons that is going to be actually like good for the build, make the character stronger. So number one is damage skilling, and there's a little thing we called Wither. This is a debuff that is exclusive to chaos damage. So withered enemies will take 5% increased chaos damage, or take 5% increased chaos damage here. Per stack, it can stack up to 10 times, and therefore at the top end, we can actually stack 10 times and makes enemies take 50% more damage. That is chaos, right? So that is a very good thing. But that is not the only perks. Obviously, we have Wither, but we lose out on like elemental exposure, which is something that can potentially be pretty good. But I think this one is just a little bit stronger, and we can still have the curse in the form of despair to reduce enemies' resistances. So yeah, that is one thing that we can do, right? Other than that, turning everything into chaos potentially will allow us to actually use another skill. Contagion. Quality now provide contagion target additional enemies. So it basically means that contagion, it used to spread the chaos damage debuff to nearby enemies, but right now it will spread even more if you have more quality into it. So you see the theme, right? We are turning this to chaos and we are spreading the chaos fire, or the what I call the Amaterasu fire. Naruto reference, right? So the dark fire is going to be spread by contagion. At least that is the way that I'm assuming it worked, because logically it should work this way. There is no chance they are missing this, but if it doesn't work, it is what it is, right? But yeah, we would just need to wait for the game to be actually released. But for now, logically, everything that I say here should work, right? Take it with a grain of salt, but it should work. So we are going to ignite enemies. We are going to spread the ignite with contagion for extra clear. So basically the whole screen is going to be on fire, and not any kind of fire, purple dark fire. Super cool, right? And then, of course, we cannot stop there. Cast on Freeze, Shock, and Ignite basically combine into Cast on Ailment. So, of course, I'm going to use some Cast on. It is an Uncle J's build. It cannot be an Uncle J's build without any form of like cast on something. I always use trigger. I like triggering stuff. And so, yeah, we are just going to Ignite. And later on, maybe we can also Shock and Freeze. We'll talk about that. And we will be triggering some additional spell. Number one spell, of course, Contagion. There's no reason not to trigger it, right? Because you want to keep like running around, holding down, channeling, Incinerate, and you want to spread it contagion with contagion like automatically. So contagion is going to be number one on the list of casting stuff, and then maybe we can do some skill that is going to apply debuff or that is going to do some extra damage, or yeah, just a bunch of utility or damaging skill depending on the level of investment that we get into the build. Because for example, if you have a lot of if you have a lot of spirit, you should be able to put more into the setup basically. So yeah, this is the basic idea. So which class I think is going to be good for this? Well, traditionally we will be talking about Pathfinder because of the movement penalty, right? So we can potentially basically almost remove the movement penalty. But I want to talk about, I think that is very good, by the way. By the way, just for the record, I think it's very good. It also have a bunch of like poison shenanigan, which we can trigger some spell that is going to poison, and we can spread the poison along with the contagion. We can also trigger ED, which we can spread along with contagion as well. So the contagion potentially can not only spread ignite, but it can spread ignite, poison, and the essence drained overtime damage, and maybe any other thing that is chaos damage overtime debuff that you can apply to the enemy, right? So there's a lot of things that we can do with this. And potentially if you do that, maybe we can also put like dark effigy in the build for extra single target, but I'm not going to talk too deep into that. This is just an idea of like the concept of the build basically. So Pathfinder obviously is a good choice. We can also be like there's a change to the Gemling Legionnaire Ascendancy as well. We can get like gem quality, and we can also get reduced movement penalty from the class as well for one of the Ascendancy nodes. So we can also consider that, but that is like the exact opposite area of the Black Flame Keystone. So it's going to take a pretty tricky maneuvering through the passive tree to actually get to the point where we can play it, right? Anyway, I want to talk about another class that is much closer to the Black Flame, where it is in the skill tree, because we know it is near the start of the Witch area. So the class that I am talking about here is the Acolyte of Chayula. So I'm not going to talk about everything there is about this class here. It basically got a overhaul, rework, everything changed. I want to highlight two particular things that I think are interesting and directly interact with whatever I just mentioned in the previous stage of the video, right? Number one, this one, inner turmoil. So we will be having volatility stuff. So volatility stuff here, I don't think we will need it for like clearing all the time, but it is such a powerful tool to gain up to, right now, up to 200% extra chaos damage. That is just insane. Basically, it's triple the amount of damage that you get for the base damage. So that is a very, very powerful node that we can potentially use for extra single targets, especially. And then also we have the consuming question notable here, changed to unraveling. So right now it does, what it does is it grants chaos damage the ability to also freeze and shock. And it is not going to cause freeze and shock all the time. Freeze, shock, ignite is going to rotate every 2 seconds. So every 6 seconds, your chaos damage is going to freeze the enemy, and every 6 seconds, it is also going to shock enemy. Every 6 seconds is also always going to ignite enemies. So because right now they just changed the duration of shock to 8 seconds, that is very good, right? So we will potentially always just get shock on enemies all the time for like single target. So I think this too can be very good, and the shock and the freeze can potentially help with the cast on ailment as well. So that is the reason why I want to mention these. But we can also have a bunch of very cool thing here with the this one. Where is this one? The remnant, I think, can be pretty good. And I'm really keen to try Grasp the Void as well. But I think in general, right, this should be a solid choice, even though we don't have the movement penalty. So it can be a slower build, but I think it is also a viable option. It is also closer to the start of the Witch class. Of course, you can also play it with, say, the Lich. Lich have Unholy Might, which is another choice that we can do, right? So there is a lot of classes that we can try and make this idea a thing. Anyway, that is everything I want to share in this video. Just another like idea concept for another build. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next video. Massive thanks to all the support for the last couple of days. It has been pretty damn crazy period. The hype for the game is so damn real. By the way, I want to have a little announcement that probably I will repeat on any videos from now until the launch date. So I will not be playing for the day 1 and day 2 due to some personal schedule, but day 3 and day 4 I will be probably streaming right here on YouTube. Not anywhere else. Not anywhere else. I'll probably be streaming quite a lot because I'm planning to play a lot in those 2 days. Anywhere around 30 to 40 hours total in 2 days. I will be preparing for that. And if you want to catch me live, you should be preparing for that as well. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks again. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.